Imagine watching a live television broadcast that single-handedly alters the financial destiny of an entire nation and sends shockwaves through the global currency markets. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. This is exactly what happened when the Prime Minister of Iraq, in an unprecedented and televised address, stood before his nation and the world and gave his official unequivocal approval for the long-awaited, fiercely debated currency reform plan. In that single moment, years of speculation, anticipation, an economic uncertainty crystallized into a concrete government-mandated reality. The announcement, delivered with the full weight of the Iraqi state, confirms beyond any doubt the country is now fully committed to a comprehensive monetary restructuring and a radical modernization of its exchange rate regime. This isn't just another news headline or a rumor from a fringe forum. This is the definitive signal that the Central Bank of Iraq and the federal government are now operating in perfect, unified alignment. A coordination that has often been cited as the missing link in Iraq's journey toward economic recovery and full integration into the global financial system. The significance of this alignment cannot be overstated, as it paves the way for a series of technical, legislative, and operational steps that will fundamentally transform the nature of the Iraqi Dinar, impacting everyone from the citizens on the streets of Baghdad to international investors and global economic policymakers. This historic move is far more than a symbolic gesture. It is the ignition key for a complex and multi-stage economic engine. For the Iraqi Dinar itself, this approval signifies the beginning of the end for the current currency's vulnerabilities, including issues of counterfeiting. So the logistical burden of dealing large volumes of lower denomination notes for simple transactions, and its historical isolation from transparent international market mechanisms. The reform plan, now officially blessed by the highest executive office, is expected to involve a process that could include the introduction of new banknote series, a potential revaluation of the currency's official rate to better reflect the nation's true economic standing, and the implementation of sophisticated digital banking infrastructure to bring Iraq's financial systems into the 21st century. The ultimate goal is to stabilize the dinar, boost its purchasing power for the average Iraqi citizen, and create a currency that is trusted and tradable on the world stage, thereby attracting foreign direct investment and reducing the economy's heavy reliance on oil revenues. This transition is about national sovereignty and economic dignity, aiming to untangle the dinar from decades of conflict, sanctions, and financial instability and reposition Iraq as a credible and emerging player in the Middle Eastern economy and beyond. The Prime Minister's live address was the starting pistol for this monumental undertaking, a public commitment that holds the government accountable to its people and to the international community for delivering on these promises. So, what does this mean in the immediate term? The what's next is absolutely critical. Following this top-level approval, we can expect the Central Bank of Iraq to begin a meticulously orchestrated rollout of the reform's technical phases. This will likely involve public awareness campaigns to educate citizens on the new currency, the logistical process of exchanging old notes for new ones within a specified time frame, and coordinated communications with international financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank to ensure global support and liquidity. For investors and those who have held Iraqi Dinar, this is the moment of truth they have been waiting for, but it demands extreme vigilance and a reliance on factual information over sensationalist hype. The road to a fully reformed currency is a marathon, not a sprint, and will be subject to technical hurdles, political scrutiny, and market reactions. The official approval is the most significant green light possible, but it is the beginning of a carefully managed process, not an instantaneous event. The world will now be watching every move from the CBI, every statement from the finance ministry, and every fluctuation in the official and secondary market rates with unprecedented intensity. The gamble on Iraq's future is now being played out in the open under the bright lights of global finance, and the stakes for every involved party have never been higher. So the call to action note here: before we go any deeper into what happens next, I need you to do one thing for me right now. Hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. Why? Because the situation is moving fast, and you need to be on the front lines of this information. We are breaking down this historic event with pure original data and analysis you simply won't find anywhere else. And by subscribing, you are ensuring you don't miss a single update as this story evolves. It's crucial. The domino effect of this prime ministerial approval is already beginning to ripple outwards, and the second and third order consequences are what will truly redefine Iraq's economic landscape for generations to come. Let's talk about the organic data and the on-the-ground reality that often gets lost in the high-level financial talk. The first and most immediate impact will be a test of confidence. The very act of the Prime Minister going on live television to make this announcement was a powerful tool to build domestic confidence in the national currency. For years, many Iraqis, particularly those with greater means, have preferred to hold US dollars or other foreign currencies as a store of value, a phenomenon known as dollarization that undermines the sovereign currency. This public, unequivocal commitment is a direct attempt to reverse that trend and encourage citizens to trust the dinar, to bank in dinar, and to ultimately strengthen the currency through collective faith in its future. So this psychological component is just as important as the technical one. We can already begin to track this through organic data points, monitoring the parallel market rate versus the official rate for any signs of convergence, observing trading volumes on official currency auction platforms, and analyzing sentiment within Iraqi business and social media circles. A successful reform will be evidenced by a narrowing of the gap between the official and black market rates, a clear indicator that public trust is growing and that the new official valuation is being seen as legitimate and sustainable by the population itself. Beyond psychology, the structural implications are profound. A modernized, Stronger dinar directly translates into reduced costs for the Iraqi government and its people. Consider the nation's massive import bill. Iraq imports a vast array of goods, from food and medicine to machinery and consumer products. An undervalued or unstable currency makes these imports prohibitively expensive, fueling inflation and squeezing the purchasing power of everyday families. A stronger, stable dinar born from this reform would make these essential goods more affordable, effectively acting as a nationwide raise in the standard of living. Furthermore, for the government, servicing its sovereign debt and financing large-scale infrastructure projects becomes significantly cheaper and less risky when done with a reputable currency. It opens the door to issuing international bonds in their own currency, a privilege reserved for nations with trusted monetary systems. This moves Iraq away from a reactive, commodity-dependent economy to proactive, diversified, and investment-based economy. The organic data to watch here will be Iraq's import price indices, inflation reports from the Ministry of Planning, and announcements of new non-oil sector investment projects. The success of this reform will be measured not just in the dinar's value against the dollar, but in the tangible economic relief and new opportunities it creates for the citizens of Iraq, solidifying the social contract between the government and its people. However, this path is fraught with immense challenges that cannot be ignored, and a realistic analysis must account for them. The biggest threat to this entire endeavor is the potential for speculative attacks and organized corruption. Vested interests that have profited handsomely from the current system of currency arbitrage and a murky parallel market will actively work to undermine the reform's stability. We can expect to see disinformation campaigns, attempts to hoard or manipulate currency supplies, and political pressure from those who stand to lose influence. The Central Bank of Iraq's resolve and its ability to maintain liquidity and stability during the transition period will be tested like never before. The organic data that signals danger would be sudden, unexplained spikes in the parallel market rate, reports of banknote shortages, or conflicting statements from different government bodies. Therefore, while the Prime Minister's approval is the essential catalyst, the sustainability of the reform hinges on flawless execution, robust regulatory enforcement, and unwavering political will in the face of inevitable counter-pressure. The world is watching to see if Iraq's institutions are strong enough to see this through, making the coming weeks and months a critical stress test for the nation's entire financial and governance architecture. The prize is monumental, but the obstacles are equally daunting. This is where you need to become an active participant in this story. The information landscape is about to get very noisy, with everyone claiming to have the inside scoop. Your best defense is to stay right here. Smash that like button if this deep dive is providing you with real value, and subscribe with notifications on. We are committed to cut through the noise and delivering objective, data-driven analysis. Your engagement is what makes this independent research possible. No, we arrive at the ultimate question that every international observer and potential investor is asking: what is the realistic endgame, and how does this reshape the global perception of Iraq? The successful implementation of this currency reform is the master key that unlocks Iraq's potential to become a regional economic powerhouse. It is the foundational step that must be completed before the country can truly leverage its other immense resources, not just oil, but its young population, its agricultural land, and its strategic geographic location. A stable and transparent currency is the bedrock upon which all other economic development is built. It makes Iraq a predictable and safe place for international corporations to build factories, for technology firms to establish hubs, and for the tourism sector to finally begin showcasing the nation's incredible historical heritage to the world. This is about changing the brand of Iraq from a post-conflict zone to a land of opportunity and recovery. The long-term organic data to track will be foreign direct investment figures outside the oil sector, credit rating agency reports on Iraqi sovereign debt, and the country's ranking in global ease of doing business indices. A rising trajectory in these metrics will be the true testament to the reform's success, proving that the world's financial markets have not only taken note, but are also placing their confident bets on Iraq's future. For you, the viewer, this unfolding story presents a unique moment in financial history. We are witnessing a nation attempt a profound monetary transformation in real time. The journey of the Iraqi dinar is a case study in economics, geopolitics, and national resilience. To follow this story correctly is to look beyond the short-term noise and focus on the fundamental. Reported data from official sources like the Central Bank of Iraq, the Ministry of Finance, and reputable international bodies. It is to understand that true sustainable value is built over years through sound policy and institutional strength, not through overnight speculation. The Prime Minister's announcement has set the ship on a new and promising course, but the voyage is long and the waters can be treacherous. Your role is to be an informed observer, to separate fact from fiction, and to understand the deep structural shifts that define a nation's economic destiny. This is more than a story about money. It's a story about a country's arduous journey back to its rightful place in the community of nations, and the currency is the most visible symbol of that struggle and its potential triumph. The chapter that began with that live television address is one of the most important in modern Iraqi history, and its conclusion will be written in the years to come through discipline, transparency, and the unwavering pursuit of a stable and prosperous future for all Iraqi people. This is not the end of the conversation. It is just the beginning. The situation is fluid and new developments are happening daily. I have a crucial request for you. First, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you believe is the biggest challenge Iraq faces in this currency reform? Your perspectives are invaluable. Second, if you found this comprehensive breakdown helpful, Please share this video with one other person who needs to see this objective analysis. And third, and most importantly, subscribe. We are building a community here dedicated to factual, data-driven reporting on global financial events, and we need you with us on this journey. Hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss our next update, because as this story develops, you will want to be the first to know. Thank you for watching.